Sports with Hims. Discover sprays, chews, and
What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin. And we have a lot of boxing to talk about and to go over with this past weekend. There was a lot of good boxing. Jaime Munguia card. There was a lot of good knockouts there. The Anthony Joshua fight. And wow, how many of you saw that coming right there? Right? I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people going on this morning and everything claiming that they called the fight, blah blah blah. And I'm pretty sure in every video it was a 50-50 fight. So you probably reported that you thought Joshua was gonna win and how he was gonna win, and you probably said Dubois. And then when you woke up this morning, you chose to edit the one that said Dubois. That's the way people are going to do it, right? Okay. I could do the same thing. In my live, I came back in. I was like, Dubois is going to win this fight. He's 27 years old. He's younger. He's going to win. I could clip that, boot, you know what I mean? But to be real, and, that's what I stand on, keeping it real, unbiased, just, what I saw and giving you my insight, my professional insight in fighting, boxing, and what I saw took place, and that's what I aim to do. So, let's get into it. And then I'm going to talk for a couple minutes and then I'm going to drop the link. So if you want to join, if you don't want to turn on your camera, you don't have to. Just let me know that you are a human. Turn it on real quick. Nobody will be able to see you, just me down here. That's how that works until I click you on the screen. Once you're on the screen, you can shut off your camera, if you choose to. If you want to show yourself, and we could discuss anything or any fight you want to talk about, whether it was the Jaime Munguia card, which was a very exciting card, right? And then from the Jaime Munguia fight, we went right into the Anthony Joshua fight, in which a lot of people were saying, well, I heard one reporter there at the fight say this could be and have potential for fight of the year. And I heard him say it. I can't remember exactly who said it. I want to say Chris Iola said it, because I think it was Chris Iola that said it, but I don't hold me on that. But he was like, yo, I think this has a fight of the year, and I think Dubois might beat AJ. He's the one I heard say it before the fight, right? I was just doing my due diligence, and sometimes I don't like to hear everybody else talk because it'll cloud my judgment on what I see in the fight. So what I do is I kind of like stay off the YouTube channels, and I don't hear what they have to say, because I want to hear what I have to see, what I see. I don't want their opinion to, play a factor, because I noticed that does affect me. And a lot of things and a lot of decisions I've made in my life when I was younger, I made rash decisions because I was, influenced or I heard something and I was going towards that way because it fit my vision or what I thought to be the truth. So I've been guilty of that a lot. So what I do now is I don't hear their opinions. I watch the fight and I give my take. So if you've ever been on my live and you heard me say something that they said, or they're matching, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe they see it one way and I see it another, but I can guarantee you one thing: I'm speaking from what I'm watching from the first time. That's it. Lead into a fight, I like to do that. So when I was watching the fight, leading into the fight, right, and by the way, I had an amazing time. Notre Dame's belt, man, that we got no winner. It's incredible, right? I'd be having a blast. But we'll get to that in a second. So at the time when I'm watching the fight, I started to notice, right, as the fight started to build, you know, my my perception of who I thought was going to win started to sway, because let me tell you something right now. Typically, typically in the sport of boxing, a guy comes out, he looks pretty good, gets better, starts knocking people out, goes on a run, becomes world champion, either defends a couple times, then loses or whatever, right? But that guy came out the gate fairly good until he got better, and then you know what I'm saying, right? Daniel Dubois is the definition of rising up from the ashes. Daniel Dubois started his career so-so, then started catching losses early. And when you catch losses early, like Garcia did just the other night on the Jaime Munguia card, you're not supposed to catch them losses like that. Those were supposed to be wins. And you went out there and turned a win into a loss, just like Daniel Dubois. That's why everybody's confidence in Daniel Dubois was shaky. He's the definition of truly improving on the job and excelling to a level we might have not thought you were there, because look at the losses you have. He did lose to the heavyweight champion of the world, though, Usyk. That's a big name, in which many thought that he won that fight with that body shot. He gave up in the fight, which means that his will can be broken. Then in other fights, his chin came into question. And not a lot of us didn't care how young he was. It was just the fact he couldn't take a punch. And that was apparent. Or was it? Was he just a kid in the ring fighting men? Big men. The biggest men the world has to offer, and the most dangerous of them. These are professional athletes. And that was a kid in the ring with them. We didn't understand that, did we? All we understand is wins, losses. You gave up. Your durability is suspect. Your chin, suspect. That was his MO. 2 fights could not persuade you or any of the fans to change your mind about what and who he really was. Could it? So much so in the poll, 82% voted AJ being the one going to win this fight. So I know the majority of the fans did not see this coming. It was kind of like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Going into the fight, we knew that it was going to be close, right? But did we see this? Nah, I didn't see this. I didn't see Dubois dropping him 3 times, actually 4 times in the fight. I didn't see that, because his gloves did touch the ground. That was a knockdown. Anthony Joshua's both hands touched the canvas. That's a knockdown. So, you see, look, the performance that Dubois put on was so big in so many different ways, because I got to tell you, if he had won that fight and not really been tested in the fight, people would have been said his chin is still suspect. But he answered a lot of questions in this fight, because AJ caught him flush with an AJ punch, and Dubois walked through it, bro. He didn't look fake. No, AJ did catch him. I mean, they were big punches, bro. Look at the size of that man. And Dubois went bam. Ooh, yo, he stood in the pocket. You want to know something? Whether Dubois knew to do this in the sequence, whether he was thinking it, it didn't matter if he was thinking it. His training that prepared him for this moment, in an instant, he reacted. I bet you Dubois has no idea what he did or how he did it. And people are going to dissect his fight. Like, look, when Dubois went like this and he set AJ up. Technically, he did that, right? But he wasn't probably thinking it. He was just responding because he was so well trained. You see, the fighter doesn't understand why they do things in the ring. That's called training. That's called coaching. And Dubois, he was throwing his punches on the outside of AJ all night. That jab was in the middle, and his hooks were coming on the outside. AJ's defense, when AJ caught him, where was AJ's hands at? He was prepared to block the outside punch because he's been getting hit with them shots all night. And in the last sequence, the last two punches, Dubois went for one, but he missed them with the one he really wanted to hit him with. The one that Dubois was setting up was that straight. He missed them. He set back up. AJ went to throw the same, and the opening was like this big. Kudos to Dubois. He shortened it up. He went, boop. Laid him out. He laid him out like a beach towel. And I was like, damn. And ass up, face down, bro. I was like, wow, that's a bad look, right? No, I didn't see that coming. And Dubois took punches in between that sequence, and that's what I'm talking about. His chin was tested. That box is checked. Nah, he can take a punch now. Now he's more, maybe he was just a kid learning on the job back then. And he wasn't, and he took some big shots. Now he's learning how to roll with the punches a little bit better, And there are exercises that you do for your neck and your jaw. You got that mouthpiece that got the springs in it, and they tell you to chew that like that, so you build up muscles in your face. Little things like that. And apparently his last three fighters were big boys, man. Dubois' last three fighters were heavy punchers, and he took all their punches, man. I gotta admit. They didn't drop him. Big Baby Miller didn't drop him. Joshua didn't. Listen. By the way, that is the worst ass whooping I've ever seen Anthony Joshua take. Hands down, from start to finish. That is the worst ass whooping I've ever seen Joshua take. That was worse than the Destroyer Ruiz's ass whooping. Way worser. I was like, because in the Anthony Joshua Ruiz fight, his legs were noodles. Like straight noodles. Like he was vulnerable. So I was like, damn. But in this sequence, Joshua was actually fighting. He was actually fighting him. So this was a fight, and Dubois had the bigger punch. He had the bigger stick. And it showed. So now we got to put some respect on Dubois' name when it comes to punching power. Because apparently, just ask the last three guys he fought. Kudos to the young man for not giving up on himself, on his dream. When he could have easily fell into obscurity with those losses early in his career. People could give up on you. They could say, this kid he ain't never gonna be nothing. Look at him. He quits. Look at his durability. Look at his cardio. Boy, tell me, is this one of the biggest turnarounds, right? And then you can't say like the man's like on drugs or anything. So don't let anybody come out and say that, because this was a real sanctioned boxing match. And as you can clearly see, after the Dubois came out for the interview, just like, the AJ had the suit on, but Dubois didn't. You see where they took the blood work? Right after the fight? As soon as you get out of the ring, the committee, the athletic committee standing right there. They like, come here, sir. Give me a urine and blood sample. So they took blood from him, and just like Joshua, right? So they both passed. We would have heard some already. They both passed, right? So Dubois is he was just young. That's what it was. He was he's a young man right now at 27 years old. He's a heavyweight champion. He woke up this morning, the IBF official heavyweight champion of the world, and there's nobody that can say anything now. I mean, I know what we were talking about with the email situation. That is all old news. That's done with. He is the heavyweight champion of the world. Done deal. That's a wrap. Yeah. What's up, chat? Let's see what you guys got to say. Let me catch up to a couple of you. Woo! You guys is typing. How you guys doing this morning? What time is it? Don't look at that clock, because you'll be screwed up. That shit do not work. All right? I have no idea what this thing is doing. It does its own time. Every time I set it to the right time, give it a couple, it does whatever it wants. So I left it alone. It's on its own time. It's doing its own thing. That I can't get it to work with me. I put different batteries in it, everything. It does what it wants. So I just left it. Yeah. So don't go by that. Hell no. Yo. It's on now. Oh, yeah, in a way time. I think it might be. I have no idea what this thing is doing. I can't fix it. I've tried over and over. Don't go by. It's still my little Rolex. I'm going to keep it up there. Look, you know what I mean? It ain't even a Rolex. It's whatever that is. Says right there. I can't read it backwards, upside down type shit right now. But, yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm going to leave it there. Maybe it'll fuck with people. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I have my mask up there too. I forgot about that. I was like picking up and I threw it up there yesterday. I meant to take it down. I put it on my Vince Lombardi trophy, right? But then I didn't like the fact that it covered it. I was like, nah, I don't like that. You know what I mean? You guys seen the new one? This is funny. It's Larry Bird knocking out Magic Johnson. If I move the mic, it'll show it. Magic Johnson like that. It's emulating that night right there. I thought that was pretty cool. It was gifted to me, whether I believe it or not. It was something that that's all the only boxing thing the guy had. And I was like, it's actually not boxing, but it looks pretty cool. So I threw it up there. So anyway, let's answer some of y'all questions. Don't go by the clock, dog. Hey. Man, he did. Some guy with a cat. Listen, he exposed them. This was a passing of the torch. Sort of like, when old legends of different countries, like when Mexico did it, Oscar de la Hoya versus Julio Cesar Chavez, and Oscar de la Hoya walked away victorious, so there's, I think this eventually is what we're going to get with Naoya Inoue versus like Junto Nakatani, right? I think eventually that's where we'll get, and this was their guys out there. And who was going to be and kudos to Dubois. He stepped up. He said, I'm that guy. I've been here. I had a little hiccups. He didn't have the best career start. And look where he's gotten. I commend him. That's a man not giving up on your dream. Your vision. He's had some real low points in his career. For him to be where he's at right now, he was given the title, the underdog, coming into this fight for a reason. For a reason. He had to prove to the world he was not bullshitting. How many men can do that? You weren't like naturally gifted. It wasn't like you were coming out like an Abdullah Mason, like a Bruce Carrington, like a Camille Moten, right? And they rocking, and I bet they will go undefeated until they become champions. That's not Dubois' career. He didn't come out rocking good. He had problems. And he had to face adversity, and he had to turn things around, and to be as dominant as he was against AJ to get where he's at today. The improvements and the understanding of fighting, the leaps and bounds, yo, that's got to be commended. Yo, he's the real thing, man. That's not no hype job. That he didn't fight a bum to bum. No. He gave Miller his first loss. Dubois did a little bit of stuff, and it's kind of going under the radar a little, which gave us this. We didn't believe in him. Let's be honest. Come on, man. The majority of us was like, AJ should win this fight. From his experience alone. World title fight experience. Just on that alone, AJ should have won that fight. I was like, wow. Yo, that was truly surprising. Yeah, almost. Yeah. You know, a little bit too. Hey, guys, I got receipts. You guys know. You guys been on my channel, and for the people that are new, welcome, right? To Round 1 Sports Talk. But didn't I tell you guys what was one of the things I didn't like about AJ coming into this fight? That your last fight, you really didn't get no work. You're going from like a walk in the park fight to a real fight. And I didn't like that. Didn't I tell you guys it was, for that means really he was inactive for that long because that AJ fight wasn't shit. When your level of competition, that's why you can't fight tomato cans like that. You got to fight guys. Yeah, you're going to beat them, but they're going to be in there fighting. They're going to give you a little fits, and it gets you better. Not some guy that wasn't even on the level of your sparring partners. Your sparring partners could have whooped that guy's ass. So, and I talked about that. How is that going to affect AJ? I mean, it could give you a false confidence that I got this sledgehammer. I can knock people out. No, you caught him flush. He didn't roll with nothing. Francis Ngannou took that punch straight up. He ain't roll with it. He didn't have no boxing skills. Not like Dubois did. Man, listen. Even the little bit of leaning that Dubois did when he got hit, the leaning takes power off of his punch. Francis just stood there like, whap! The full, he hit him like if he was hitting a punching bag. Boom! Come on, man. Ain't no man in the world gonna take punch like that. And it gave him a false sense of confidence, I felt. You know? All right. I'm gonna drop this thing. If anybody wants to join, feel free. With respect, we don't have to yell at each other to get our points across. You could talk about any fight you want, either past, present, or feel free. If you want to debate anything, we could do that too. But absolutely, like, I gotta admit that when I saw what was taking place, I mean, from the first round, right? At the closing seconds of the first round, I thought that what was really key in this fight on my breakdown was Dubois' jab right away. He established his jab right off in the fight, and he was actually faster than AJ. I had touched on that coming into my live, and I was telling you guys that I really felt that Dubois was faster. The way Dubois was popping his jab and had been of late in his last two fights, and the way he was just He was becoming more fluent with his game plan. It was apparent that they knew that AJ sometimes is a slow starter. And I had talked about that. And I felt that, yeah, Dubois, but do you really send your guy out there to take that chance in this moment? Yes, if you know what you have. And Dubois' coaches believed in him. They know what they had in a fighter. I didn't. And they do. And he came out and he attacked him. He jumped on AJ right away. He initiated the center of the ring and he started snapping that jab right in AJ's face. Then he started getting that distance a little bit closer and he started to exchange. The one good thing that I saw in the early exchanges between AJ and Dubois was slipping his punches pretty good. He was actually slipping on him. He was like bam, bam, and slip, slip, like that. And I was like, wow, okay, so he's evading punches and hitting when they anytime, and I mean anytime, two heavyweights decide of that size and to decide to exchange, I was holding my breath. I was like, someone's going out. Because you could see these bombs they was throwing, and he was like, wow, 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 right? So I thought that the first round was good. Dubois was trying to establish and let AJ know, no, you're in a fight. You're in a fight. And you see, it was a good that he did that right away. Coming into the fight, AJ felt like, Dubois, you're a quitter. You don't got a strong chin. And I bet that's what they were putting in his head. Like, this kid should not be on your level, AJ. Right? And so Dubois established dominance early in the fight. And I thought that was important in the fight. I thought that was important that he showed AJ, listen, I'm not scared of you. In fact, I'm better than you. And I'm going to show you. So he started to take that false confidence that AJ's team and all the talk about Dubois being a quitter and all that. He wasn't there to fight Dubois, to fight all the noise. Dubois was there to fight AJ. And he was letting it know, be early. Listen, we here. And as a matter of fact, AJ, I'm the champion coming into this fight. You gonna respect me as a champion, and I'm gonna let it be known early who's the challenger and who's the champion in this fight. And that was important for Dubois. I felt like I said to myself, young man, show him you're not scared of him. And I'm sitting here and I'm watching the fight, and there was a point in time I was just like, I really couldn't believe what I was watching. The way, because coming out of the first round, the way they were exchanging, nothing had happened yet. Nothing had happened yet. Then all of a sudden, we get to 14 seconds. And then there was a little exchange, and AJ evaded backwards straight up. Amateurish. When you're evading, you don't evade with your hands down like this. And he evaded, and he did that skip. And we're taught that if your feet leave the canvas even this much, that means you're in the air, you're defenseless. Attack. You ain't, what are you doing? You're in the air like this, skipping backwards. What are you going to do? You're not even planted. It's a slight skip back that the boxers do. It's like a little shuffle. The minute his feet leave the ground, attack. Yo, Dubois did not hesitate. Hang! And you can see the effect of the punch as soon as he landed it. The crowd, if you go back and you watch that, when Dubois hits him, a little guy jumps up in the crowd with a little blue suit on with a vest. And lo and behold, it's Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was like one of the first people that jumps out of his seat as soon as Dubois landed that shot. That's how, and he's in the sitting down like, 4 or 5 rows back. He heard the punch, pow! And he jumped up. He knew it was a good punch, and man, he fell down. The one thing I can say that AJ's legs weren't that steady in the second round, but he did manage to get out of the second round. Entering the third round, AJ comes out. He throws a massive bomb early, and Dubois evaded it. And AJ was trying to hit Dubois with something hard to back him up, to let him know, like, bro, I'm the bigger puncher. I can hurt you, and then Dubois, I think AJ kind of got that sense that he wasn't going to outbox Dubois. That jab was lethal, and AJ wasn't blocking the jab. He wasn't parrying right, nothing at all. And since he wasn't going to, I guess he conceded in the notion, like, I'm not going to. So Joshua was going brute strength. He was trying to just work off that and throw the right. Kudos to Dubois. He knew it. But whether he knew he was doing this or not, Dubois was setting AJ up. He was his shots were on the outside. They were hooking shots. The shot that put him away was an inside shot, pop, like that. It did, and it goes to show you don't need a lot of torque. His momentum, AJ's momentum coming forward, and just throw it stiff, hard, snap it like that. Just like now Inoue did, just like Tank Davis did. Boom, like that. His momentum was coming forward though, and it was easier to knock him out. Yeah. So, all about technique, baby. That was technique. And the fact that AJ was taking shots on the outside, that I think he was anticipating when he was coming forward, that Dubois was going to throw his hook on the outside. AJ's glove was prepared for an outside shot. He came in like this. He was going to hit him like that. Dubois caught him straight. Yeah. And the funny thing is the punch he threw just before that sequence, that was the shot he wanted to hit him with. He wanted to hit him with that shot. What's up, baby? How you doing, supporter of boxing? In the building. He took control from the opening bell, yeah. And that was the thing. I talked about it, yeah. That was important in the fight for Dubois, to establish dominance, to let AJ know, wait a minute, you're not the champion coming into this fight. I'm the world champion coming into this fight. You need to fight like a world champion. And damn it if Dubois didn't. And damn it if he didn't. He fought like a world champion. He fought like okay. It was kind of like when I saw Espinoza beat Robesi, right? And a lot of us thought that Espinoza, he pulled the upset of the year, and rightfully so. He came back and won that fight, right? And I believe he did. But let's see what he looks like when he defends the world title, right? Did he not come out there and fight like a world champion in his next fight? He proved, I'm the champion in this ring. I'm going to fight like a champion. He did. Dubois came into this fight with AJ, and he said, wait a minute. I'm the champion here. You're the challenger. Here, well, take this with you. Yo, took his belt. Let's go. Yo, you got to admit, he did AJ dirty. He did him dirty, baby. Yo, I ain't never seen nobody beat man. Listen, he really beat. Now, look, Usyk beat Dubois in a controversial fight, which many still feel that Dubois won that fight with that body shot. Nevertheless, he lost. Let's not cry over spilt milk, okay? But Usyk fought AJ twice, and both times they went to 12-round decisions. And one of the fights could have went any way. Or, I mean, well, not really. There was one that was closer than the other, but Usyk won both fights, hands down. Yeah, he did. Okay, I can't even say that. I was about to try to stick up for AJ, but nah, I can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. He lost, right? So, AJ's just never lost to anybody quite the way Dubois did it. And with the improvements that Dubois is making and the confidence and the momentum that he has, if you ask me, all we're waiting to see what happens in December. That's all we're waiting for. The outcome of the winner of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk to get their rematch going. Then I think off of this loss, now, fuck it. Put that AJ and Deontay Wilder fight together. They'll sell. They will sell. You put AJ and Deontay Wilder in the ring now, yeah, that'll sell. They're both coming off losses. They both need a win. They both still want to fight. We've always wanted to see that fight. It might not be for any world titles, but we'll finally get the fight and we'll get our answer who would win. And I think AJ should whoop the shit out of him. He should evade that right hand. Just, bro, don't be that guy. You know that's what he got. Only that right hand. Let's come on. So, there's your fight, I think. We're probably going to get Dubois versus the winner, whether it's Tyson Fury or Usyk. I think Tyson Fury retires. I don't know. Maybe because of the status of the Brits, if Tyson Fury wins, he wants to prove that he's still the Gypsy King, and he'll fight Dubois for that status. Not always necessarily the belts will probably be on the line, yeah. But I think to them, the thing that would count the most is the status of being the man, the number one guy out there. You know, like Lennox Lewis was. So, like, you to get that status, I think that the Gypsy King still has that like that. And fighters like Joshua had it. And now Dubois is really, stating his claim for the man out there. So under that status, I think that they would fight if Tyson Fury is to win. Now, if Tyson Fury loses, he rides off into the sunset. I guess Dubois takes the throne. He's the legitimate only Brit heavyweight champion they have at that point. I think rightfully so. He would, if Tyson was to fall. That's in the case that if he was to fall. So then I think we get that rematch. That's at that point is when I think we get that rematch. But there's some things that we have to wait, play out. We have to wait for this December fight to conclude, and once that's done with, then we'll talk about that. But as of last night's performance, listen, Mr. Daniel Dubois, the IBF heavyweight champion of the world. How are you doing this morning? He woke up this morning heavyweight champion of the world, and it is official. It is official. It is stamped because of the way he did it, the man he beat, and now the ceremony is complete. They awarded him that belt in that ring after he beat Anthony Joshua. He's an official world champion, so I don't think that Usyk was in attendance in the fight too, as well as many fighters were. Terrence Crawford was there. Devin Haney had a little situation with Ed Hearn over the tickets. And then after the fight, he he decided not to burn any more bridges with Ed Hearn. Said, I don't know what you're talking about, even though that we know that those tweets came out from your account, Devin Haney. So, but he nipped it at the bud right there. He, boom. And this is like typical promoter shit, right? Why do we always complain about these promoters being snakes? Right? It's like the story my mother once told me when I was younger. She said, son, you're going to run into snakes. You can't trust a snake. Right? And I'm like, but Ma, she's like, some of your friends are going to be snakes, son. She told me the story about the snake that wanted to get across the little ravine. And the man comes walking up, and the snake it talks to him, and he tells him, sir, pick me up, put me over your head, and walk me across this little patch of water, which is like a little like ravine coming down, but it was deep as hell. So the guy looked at the snake and said, no way, bro. I'm not picking you up. You're a snake. And he goes, you see, man, that's what I've been getting my whole life. People looking at me just because I was born a snake. You think I'm a snake? I'm not a snake, man. I just want help. I need help to get to the other side. And the guy heard the snake's story and felt bad for him, for the little snake. And he picked him up. He said, I'm going to help you. And he got in the water and he brought the snake all the way to the other side and got up. And just before he puts the snake down, the snake turns around and bites him. And he's like, yo, bro, why'd you bite me? He said, you knew I was a snake when you picked me up. He slithers off. Snake's going to always be a snake, man. And Ed Hearn and these promoters, I don't, what he did to Devin Haney, it was between them and their business. It was kind of like a cheap shot if you want to, get petty. But, that's the name of the game, the nature of the beast. I invited you out here and didn't even have tickets for you. Buy your own tickets, And then the fact that he posted it out to try to take shots at Devin Haney, because he knows business-wise in the future, Devin Haney is, his stock is not doing so well. And what Ed Hearn is trying to do again is make Devin Haney, to get Devin Haney at a low price once again. And a lot of people are like, well, Devin Haney, you took less money not once but twice to go fight George Camboza out in Australia. You only made this much money. You're at those fights. And so why are you asking for this much money? And see, Devin Haney is saying like, yeah, well, I took that money because I was daring to be great. And they go, well, you were daring to be great, but that's your dollar amount. So now you're going to penalize me because I chose to take that money. I was worth more, but I took that money because I wanted the belts. And by doing so, so people are saying, oh, well, Devin Haney, if you really wanted this fight, why don't you? It shouldn't have been about money. And Devin Haney's saying, but wait a minute. I just took 2 fights that were back then that were like low. I'm not going to take any more low fights. And now they're trying to make it seem like Devin Haney is pricing himself out. No, Devin Haney was worth that much money. He just took a pay cut. And they're trying to hold him to the pay cut and say, look, he's not making that much money. And Devin Haney's like, nah, man, I was worth way more than that before. Because before the George Camboza fight, Devin Haney made upwards of $5 million. So, you see, so now they're trying to make it seem like, and that's the nature of the beast. Ed Hearn is trying to get him again at a low price. And Devin Haney's like, no, I already took but because of this loss with Ryan Garcia now, and that puts him in a bad situation, and the look that he got, and the O being removed, and all these things that Ed Hearn's really like He gave him a little stab, you know what I mean? Because what? You knew he was a snake when you picked him up, Devin Haney. You surprised he bit you? You surprised he bit you? So Devin Haney had to know who he's dealing with. When he was leaving the fight, the reporter came up and was like, "Hey, what about?" And Devin the fans, yeah, the fans are crazy. And he was like, "No, Ed Hearn." He was like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and he kept it pushing. Notice that, I guess financially, you might want to slow down with the image of the big bodyguards and everything. Devin Haney went all the way out to London. You saw him, no bodyguards. But did you notice one other thing? No jewelry, no earrings, no chain, no watches, nothing. He was out in London. No security, no jewelry. You seen that, right? Money's not too. So let me not, because I'm gonna be by myself. He was out in London by himself. So smart though, you should never go out to someone else's country and rock like that much jewelry. You just asking for it. I'm not sure if people realize this, but depending on what kind of person you are, I guess, I shouldn't assume that everybody's a crook or a robber, right? You guys are decent human beings, right? Just like me. But at one point in my life, I was on the other side of the track, I can admit. And if you ran into me like that, and me and my goons, you might not make it out with that, you know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be in places you shouldn't be in with that much jewelry on either. So, and I always had to remind myself, even when I would go out to other cities, I would always want to be myself. I ain't changing for nobody. I'm gonna wear my jewelry, right? And then one time, I don't know who said it, I heard it. He was like, "Be careful, because you're gonna run into yourself." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's right. I'm not the craziest person on this planet. I'm not the most, not by far. You're gonna run into yourself." What you think a young version of yourself is gonna say to you? Shit, I wouldn't want to run into fucking 19-year-old Edwin. Oh, I couldn't even talk to him. He was a hard-headed individual, you know. So I was like, okay, you would respect the game. So Devin came all the way out to London, and he was by himself, and he had the situation with Conor Ben, and he knew he was going to run into some of these fighters there. Terrence Crawford was there too, and him and Devin Haney had their moments, talking and what have you or whatever. So they were definitely going to be some situation where you're going to run into some of the fighters that you are, fighting with. And then the Liam Paro fight situation was asked Devin Haney. He tweeted that he wants to fight. Paro actually tweeted, like they're like trying to figure out the last details, of the fight, in which they're trying to like get Devin Haney at pennies of the dollar. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, because if you ask me, the money they're getting anyway ain't worth it. So the young man should be able to get and what he's asking for. And I think Devin Haney's worth it. I think he's worth it. There's another fighter that we can see Devin Haney turn it around. Do you ask yourself honestly, if you were a coach and Devin Haney legitimately walked through your door, would you tell him, nah, I think you're a bum. I don't think you got what it takes, kid. Right? Or would you be like, oh, let's go to work. Okay, Devin. Could you work with a fighter like Devin Haney? Do you think that you can turn Devin Haney into a world champion? You're damn right. That's the start that you got. Let Devin Haney walk into a real, like Freddie Roach. Like, I don't think Freddie Roach would be a good coach for Devin. Nah, not Freddie Roach's style, right? Jaron Ennis. Boots Ennis, dad. Jaron Boots Ennis' dad, senior. The father, I think if Devin Haney went and got coached by him, I think he could be a better fighter. I think if he gets coached by him, like a fighter like that, not Derrick James. I don't. Derrick James has particular fighters that fight certain ways. He's got a particular understanding of fighting. And, it seems to work for the guys he has, but that's not the Devin Haney style, the Devin Haney way. I actually think that wouldn't work with him. Garcia actually make the Mexican style with what Devin Haney has and as an American style built in already with what Hector Garcia sees as a fighter, like his vision, that wouldn't be too bad. There are a lot of amazing head coaches, but the right one for Devin Haney right now that I think that I would always, the number one would be Bud Crawford's coach. You know what I'm saying? The number one guy, right? But I don't think Bud Crawford would take him. I don't think you know what I'm saying, what's his name? I'm getting a brain fart here. I'll get it in a second. Um I'm not sure if Bud Crawford would. I think Crawford would help any young Black American fighter, to tell you the truth, that wants guidance and shows them that he wants to learn. Because I think Crawford wouldn't turn away any fighter. I really don't. I think Crawford is really actually trying to encourage his young Black American fighters to stay focused, to stay out of them streets. He's trying that with Shakur Stevenson and the Keyshawn Davises, and you see him with a lot of fighters here and there, young fighters. And these older guys understand the value of passing on what they learned and their experiences as a fighter. I actually think Terrence Crawford is really good for the sport as a champion, as a human being, how he carries himself. Terrence Crawford really does, so would his coach take him in? I don't know. But that would be a good his coach, yeah. Calvin Ford, oh my God. But he won't take him because of Tank Davis. Because of the email championship. Those are coaches that won't. Tank Davis won't allow that. Calvin Ford ain't going to lose his tie with Tank over Devin. But it would have been a good coach. That would have been an amazing coach for him, for Devin Haney. Hell yeah. If somehow he would work it out with Tank, I don't know. Damn, Calvin Ford would fucking turn Devin Haney into a champion. Yes, he would. Yeah, hell yeah, he'll turn him into a champion. Again, a champion again. Devin Haney's 25 years old. He's a kid still. That's just like Dubois turning his shit around. He would be on some shit like that. And I bet you that Calvin Ford turns him into a more efficient puncher with better technique. Devin Haney out of nowhere becomes a heavier puncher. Not like a complete knockout artist, but he starts knocking dudes out with a three-piece though. I bet you he teaches them proper form, better distance, and with that is going to give the appearance, just like Dubois. It gives him the appearance that he's a strong. He was always a good puncher. He just didn't have proper form. He didn't know how to throw it. Whatever coach Dubois, these are the 4 fights they've been in. He's been with that coach. This is his 4th fight. So that guy is training him well. Man, listen. You take Devin Haney with Calvin Ford, he'll turn him into a more efficient puncher, bro. Technique will be by perfect timing. What? He'll be dropping dudes, bro. Hell yeah, but it'll never happen because of Tank. He's not going to do that. So, oh, man. Bozy Ennis is the best one because his fighters are in upper divisions. I mean, except Andy Cruz, right? But he doesn't really have any beef with them, Devin. And he would be a coach I thought that he would be able to go into it. And like, really, I never would think Calvin Ford. I would have thought that that name, but it would have been an amazing. Yeah, he would. Yeah, of course. Money talks, but shit, he'll never do it. Who? What you say? Yeah, you will be humbled, my man. You will be humbled. Listen, Devin, here's your first day. We're gonna learn how to duck a left hook, okay? And bend with the knees. Now, your first lesson. Learn how to evade a left hook. We'll go from there. Yo, you ain't right. Don't forget to smash that like button, man. Support the brand. Help me push these videos further into the algorithm. Fighters say that all the time. Tank's gonna be retired in a few years. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you can buy too many Mercedeses and Lambos and too many watches and too many BBLs for the baby mama, and that money goes. Uncle Sam comes and takes. They be like, "Yeah, I just made $13 million." Uncle Sam's listening. Oh yeah, did he just say that? They come and take half off the rip. That 13 turns into like 6. And then they sit in there and every year they're getting taxed and everything they buy is tax. You start realizing they want tax on that property and tax on them cars. And they tax that ass every time you go out with your entourage. And you got to pay tax for those $1,000 meals that you're buying. And how much tax do you pay on a Ferrari? Then all of a sudden, in just 2 years, your little $6 million dwindled away. And all of a sudden, you're like, I'm back. And you get knocked the fuck out, right? Gervonta Davis at that point would be an active fighter still when he says that after the 6-fight deal, he's gone, right? Fighters say a lot of things. After that 6-fight deal, he might fight another 6 fights for all we know. You know, if the money's there and the opportunity and the big fights, how many times Floyd walked away and then came back? You know, the Madonna fights, he fought Madonna twice because of the controversy, but you know, those were probably one of the most exciting fights for Floyd. And like, he was tested in that fight. But yeah, man, listen, what do you guys got to say? What do you got? I think, let's see. I think, you know, Devin Haney definitely does need a better coach than his dad. Um, I think that he's surpassed what his dad can teach him, and I believe if a dad truly loves his son, he must make an unselfish decision. He can still be Devin's manager and help out in the coaching, but he needs to give another coach the discipline and the reign as coach, the respect as coach. You can't say that you're going to give the coach that and then come and try to still instill things into your son Devin Haney and work on things on the side with Devin Haney. That's not, you don't do that. Yeah, now the coach got to unteach him what you're teaching him. And what you're teaching him could affect his fighter and his vision of the way he wants him to move. Now you got too many chiefs. No, give him coaching and stay out of it. You know, you can go there and maybe jog in or assist on weight training, whatever. But when it comes to the actual preparation of your son, he needs to just allow, somebody with a lot of more fighting experience, coaching experience to take over the rings and that point. And then he can be involved with Devin Haney in other areas like that. And that's how I feel. If you really love your son, you got to know when you took him as far as you can take him. You got to recognize that. That's your boy in there. You want to make sure he has the best. And if I can't do this for you, you got to be honest with yourself. His head might be this big, Devin Haney's father, and they were going to accept him for a coach of the year, award. He was this close, and, he might feel like, no, he don't need nobody but me. But no, he does. He needs world-class coaching. He really does. And if the right coach can get their hands on that young Devin Haney, 25-year-old young Devin Haney, former undisputed world champion, that's what's walking into your gym, you got a good start. You would have a good start, but you got to be a good coach. You got to know what you're doing. Devin Haney doesn't need to go back to amateur shit. No, he needs a world-class coach. So, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm invigorated. I got a new thing of life in me, man. I finally got most of this renovation in my house done, man. I don't got no hammers banging downstairs. They were setting up for my daughter, her situation. And then I got my wife's grandfather that moved in with us. So we were setting up their rooms. We actually took him out of his room, put him in my daughter's. They had to do the painting. We did the top ceiling. We had that done over. We had walls and section in our house cut out, so yeah, it was just a lot. And then the moving of my grandfather's stuff, I was doing that shit by myself, man. I was drained and tired for like a few days after that. And, yeah, but I'm invigorated today. You know why? Because of those amazing fights last night. I'm gonna be like Bob Arum. What's gonna keep me alive is the fuel of these fights. It's gonna run through the course of my veins, and it's gonna keep me fired. I'm gonna be like 100 years old, still reporting these fights. Fight fans, round one's worth. Yeah, gonna be rocking, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope I become a staple in boxing. There's been a lot of good commentators. Not every guy can give back to boxing has to be a former world champion or get in the ring. There's many announcers that are gonna go down in the NFL Hall of Fame and never took a snap. Yeah, they ain't never, Howard Cosell. I don't think he ever knocked anybody out, hit a home run, but he's an amazing man, isn't he? That voice, the reporting that he brought it to us. Man, I wish I could be on some level like that. I'm going to strive to be number one, baby. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. Don't forget to smash that like button. Let's get it. Real winner shit this morning. We on some real winner shit this morning. That Munguia fight was a good fight. It was a good fight. The card definitely lived up to it. It gave us some excitement. Not really all necessarily household names. Okay. But with those kind of performances, knockouts, remember the name of the guys that, and there was a huge upset in there. Garcia got knocked out. I liked how Jaime Munguia looked in this fight in particular. But yeah, it was a good week, and we're going to get a better October. Now, remember, guys, in October, it's going to be like starting from October 12th. We're going to get like 3 fight cards back to back. It's going to be October 12th, October 13th, and October 14th. And then October 19th. So we're gonna get like just a roll, just like kind of like this, where we're just coming off Friday night fights with Jaime Munguia, going into an AJ world title fight at Wembley Stadium. Did you see that crowd? Did you see the size of the crowd? Yo, that Saudi prince, right? He was tight. Let's talk about it. Yo, he was tight when AJ was getting his ass whooped. Yo, did you guys see it? They probably cut it out at everybody, but there has to be one YouTube channel that caught it. They put the camera on Turkey Al-Sheikh, and he went, "Get that camera out my face." Yo, he had his hands like this. He was like this. He was like, there goes my investment. Ed Hearns wanted to throw up. He got his hands so deep in Turkey Al-Sheikh's pocket because nobody wants to fight on Ed Hearns' car unless Turkey Al-Sheikh's involved. Once you say his name, you can count me in. We getting that money, baby, right? Yo, they was both sitting down having a meltdown. If you could have a camera on Ed Hearns' face and Turkey Al-Sheikh was like this. Yo, truly, he was really going like this. Yo, when they put the camera, he was like, "Get that shit out of here." Yo, I was crying because where you could see him going like this was a camera that he couldn't block. It was the actual camera that was filming the fight. And whenever they had the camera on the side where he was sitting on, look at his expressions while he's and he couldn't take that camera away. But all the other ones on the outside, like, if Turkey said, "Yo, give me that fucking phone," right? Yeah, he's going to get the phone, right? So he was blocking all the other cameras off of his reactions, but I know people got it. They gotta be, like I said, I don't check out the fights before I go to report it because I don't want nobody said to cloud my vision or to persuade what I thought. Somebody start speaking around the lines or you like, then all of a sudden you start sounding like them. So I talked about that. I don't watch no YouTube channel until I go on like that. So I don't like to hear what they got to say at all. Nah. And I'll come on and talk my shit and then I'll go watch them like that. So he was in that chair. He was having a meltdown. Ed Hearn, look at him. Yo, Frank is taking him to the bank. You know him and Frank got a bet. And they did the 5-on-5 that turned into like 6-on-6. Ed Hearn got rocked in there. He didn't win a single match. None of his fighters won. Ed Hearn's fighters that night. He got rocked out there. Yeah, he took a hit. His pockets was hurting. And then Turkey Al-Sheikh was putting up the money. He was it wasn't like Ed Hearn was betting the money with Frank. No, Turkey Al-Sheikh took the money and was like, he did some shit like, "You guys compete for like these $3 million right here." And he put together fights, and whoever's team wins the most, that's the prize. Frank walked off with that money and whatever side bet they had going on. They probably had a little side bet too, of course, right? Because they weren't putting on no money. So let's a little wager on the side. I can almost guarantee that Ed Hearn had some money riding with Frank on this night. He had his ace, his fucking ace. That's like you playing cards. You playing spades, and you come out with the ace of hearts. Yeah, baby. You know that's a book, right? And it goes around. Homeboy ain't got no hearts. He cuts it with the 3 of spade. Your ace. Out of here. You counted that book. You was like, in your head, that was a win. That was, the minute you drop that ace on the table, ain't never been hit the board. Now you shook. You like, hold on. If you ain't got no hearts, that means he's sitting there smiling. He's got to run. He's just waiting for the money to run out. I'm coming for you, right? Yo, you're like, you knew that you played your ace. And for your ace to get trumped like that, come on, man. You know he put money on AJ. Yo, he was tight. Yo, they was in there. They couldn't stay still in the seats. They were like, yo, they probably lost some money. But and then like, yo, was it me or did the crowd empty out quick as hell? They act like they were like somebody threw a fart in there and they had to get out of that building fast. I was like, damn, are they not happy with the guy that won? Right? So I was like, shit. They even announced the winners of like the raffle of who was able to call the fight and predict the round and the outcome of the fight. And like 4 people in attendance, they gave them like a trip to Dubai, to out there, wherever it is, tickets to the event out there, 5-day stay with you and 3 of your guests. You're gonna get treated like royalty. Like it was like those. I was like, man, my man is hooking people up at these fights. And nobody was in attendance when they was reading out the winners. Nobody even stuck around long enough. I was like, damn, that it was like they turned on the light and the roaches went gone. Shit, these people left fast. I don't think I bet you if AJ would have won, that shit, people would have stood there for like probably hours after the event was over. I'm hoping to catch a glimpse of some of them. People sitting there reporting, talk about the fight. Yo, no sooner than my man won, they looked up like this. Everybody was gone. I was like, damn. Edwin, have you checked out Richard Torres Jr.? Yes, I was actually road rage when I was watching Richard Torres Jr.'s fight. He won. The guy mouthpiece kept falling out. And then the referee called the fight like that. Richard Torres Jr. looked okay. He has a lot of work he needs to improve on. There's a lot of things that he did in that ring on that night that he's not going to be able to get away with some of the top heavyweights. The way he was standing straight up with his feet, crossing his feet in sequences, that little skip back with his hands down like this, that's no bueno. You can't do that. Not in front of, rangy heavyweights that know how to. The heavyweight that knocked out Baby Anderson there, right? Gerald Anderson, him. I can't pronounce his name well, the African. You do that in front of that knockout artist, he's going to knock the shit out of fucking Torres. Torres is going to be laying in the fucking corner, bro. You do that dumb shit in front of him like that, where he crossed his feet like. So Torres is fighting the guys he needs to right now on the level that he's on. Allow him to grow, like all of us, I feel like he needs a little bit more time, a little bit more developing. He's going to be just fine. I believe that if Torres is well managed and well coached at the beginning, he's not quite there yet. Don't hurt your fighter. And I'm in agreement with I got my finger crossed for Torres. That's the guy I think that could get us and bring back one of them heavyweight belts. Don't fuck him up, man. And put him in the ring with some of these guys thinking because he's knocking this guy's mouthpiece that he's ready for the top guys. No, he's not. But he will be. He will be. If Daniel Dubois can turn himself into the fighter he is today, then damn it, anyone can do it. Hard work and dedication. Is this the road you want to travel? Is this what you want to be in life? You could talk the talk. You could be an actual tough guy. But I've seen tough guys get beat up and get the fight beaten right out of them. I've seen that. You know why? They're still tough, but now they don't want to be in the fight. Why? Lack of training. Had they been better prepared with their toughness, you would have made him a better fighter. With that toughness that he has, had he been better motivated in the gym and took it serious, he would never be in that situation because he's a tough guy. But he's a tough guy with no skills. And no matter how tough you are, you're just going to take a longer ass whooping because you're just a little bit tougher. But make no mistake, you are going to get your ass whooped. But you take that same tough guy and you teach him how to fight and you teach him the right way, you got yourself there's a start. There's a start. So it's one thing to be tough and it's one thing to be skilled. And to have, like, you could be a ninja every day in your life, in your head, right? I wish a motherfucker would come through that door, right? Type dude. But where are your skills at? Your skills, you're going to want them to match what you're thinking. I couldn't disarm a gunman with a gun like they do in the movies. I don't know the steps. I don't know the procedures. I don't know where to go first. I wouldn't know how to do that. See, in that sense, I just take out mine. Right? No, I wouldn't, all right? But what I'm saying is, in order for you to know these things, you would have to practice them, and like that. And some of these fighters right now, no, I can't say enough about that performance that Dubois did, and the leaps and bounds that the hard work. You could see it. You could see it on full display. That man was working. Yeah, and it shows. And it's a beautiful thing when you could see a guy come from where he was. And when Dubois does shit like this, you don't think that other fighters that lost are saying, that man, they counted him out. They said his durability, his chin, everything was in question. Look at him today. Oh, I'm going to the gym, baby. You know what I mean? They could really inspire other fighters that are down and out right now, that are thinking, man, I ain't never going to be a world champion. Oh, shit. Oh, look at Dubois beat the brakes off. Man, listen. Oh, baby, you never know who he's inspiring by what he's doing. You never know, See, a unification fight? I don't know how you got that out of the math, but if Dubois has the IBF and Usyk has the remaining 3 belts, right? How would he unify an interim? The ringside? Those don't count. Those both belts would be a downgrade from what he already has from the IBF. So hold up. Let me make sure I got the right guy in my head here. No. All right. Yeah. What was it that he won? It was a WBC. It was a WBC interim, right? I for some reason I thought it was like a WBA or something in my head. So I'm trying to think of what interim organization does he have, and if any interim organization is gonna kick off, that real pushing that, unification type shit would be the WBC, right? And he has the right belt. He has the right interim belt, right? That they'll try to actually feed it like a unification, just like where they tried to do a similar thing with uh Terrence Crawford and Ismail, right? They try to make it like that with belt. That fight was for 2 belts to put the pressure on Sebastian Fundora. So when they fought, it was actually for the WBA title, which was Israel's right belt, and the WBO interim. And you saw sorry. You saw Terrence Crawford when he put the belts on. He had the WBCA and the WBO one, but that WBO was an interim one, and they try to say it was a unification. It was the same way they were trying to word it, but us, boxing heads, we're like, nah, we're not going for it, because Sebastian Fedora still legitimately has the real WBO world title. So, you could call it that, but Terrence Crawford doesn't have 2 belts. He has 1 belt, and if this whole situation where Sebastian Fedora decides to vacate the WBO, then the WBO is prepared to upgrade Mr. Terrence Crawford, and then at that point, he would officially have 2 belts. I mean, that's the way the business goes. So a unification versus Dubois versus this knockout puncher, you know what I mean? Barrecolo, right? I don't want to mess up his name. I'm so nervous on saying it. It won't be technically a unification. I mean, it will be, but do you really want to fight that guy for his interim belt? Or do you want to try to fight the winner out of Usyk and Tyson Fury for the remaining of the belts to try to be an undisputed world champion? I think you're probably going to go that way. That would really put you in the Hall of Fame. Hell yeah. You fuck it. He goes out there and beats Usyk in the rematch and gets all 4 belts. Yeah, that's Hall of Fame stuff there. Nah, but let me see what he's saying. Carlos, nah, but all jokes aside, fam, we really got to focus on trying to find a decent yard sale around and hook my boy Ever up with a nice clock. Yo, we already talked about this, Carlos. Do not go by this time. This clock does not work. It does whatever the hell it wants to do. I have put new batteries in it. I have set it. Every time I set it on the same clock, right time, and I put it, it works for like 2 minutes. And it does whatever the hell it wants. I think that clock is actually on Naoya Inoue time, Japan time, something. I don't know. Because when I bought it, it was like made in Japan, right? So I don't know. I can't get it to work. It's not going to happen. All right. It's just, I don't know if you guys don't catch all the videos when you hear me say it. Do not go by this time. You will be led astray. You will be late to your appointment. Okay? It's not. Yo, it does whatever it wants to do. I can't fix it. She's going to be whoever she wants to be. All right? She doesn't identify as a clock. All right? She said she's a peacock. All right? The clock wants to be identified as a peacock. She doesn't want to tell time. All right? Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. It has a mind of its own. It does whatever it wants to do. I can't. Listen, I went out and I got Energizer bodies. I got the lithium batteries. I got like, everything. I reset it. I talk nice to her. Please work today. Come on, man. Work. No, no dice. No dice. She just does whatever she wants. Yeah, man. Yo. Wow, man. So yeah. I mean, what's next? I mean, Frank said it best. He said we're gonna wait to see what happens in Riyadh. After December, we'll go from there. Their their plans and ambitions are to go after those titles, 100%. Frank feels like Dubois shouldn't have lost that fight. You know, who that? Blade. Yo, Blade, my man. He's dropping it big. He's dropping a dub on your boy. Yo, that's funny. Yo, is that money to go buy a new clock? You know what I mean? Don't say that too loud, okay? She's right there, bro. She's about to be out of here. We're about to get a new one. You know what I mean? Yo, I can't get her to work. Yo, Blade, my man, thank you for helping out the brand. Support the brand. Thank you. And that goes into the fund so that when we get a fight, a real good one and stuff, and I can get out there, but this shit ain't cheap. Flight, hotel, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I'm not even fancy like that. I'm not going to be like, shit, I'll stay in a closet. You know what I mean? Probably ain't going to be in a room anyway. I'm going to be out there reporting shit because I won't be in the mix. So, yeah, I'm just, building. And I have a family. So sometimes not all of them are convenient for me, like going out to Japan. You know what I mean? So, I really want Naoya in a way to come out here to the States, and since Bob Arum said that, and I actually missed him in New York. Some people were telling me he's going to be in New York, and it was so close to the next day I was taking off to the Sobriel Matias fight. The very next day, I would have had to, and I think that would have took a lot out of me, airports running around and stuff. And I would have probably had not a good time start in Puerto Rico with my wifey and everything. And we wanted to get out. So sometimes you just got to calm down, but definitely thank you for supporting the brand, guys. This money goes towards anything I buy. I got my own, I'm doing my own thing, right? But I don't got it like that where I could do me, my girl, my kid, and everything else. But you guys' donations 100% go to stuff here, new equipment, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And from the bottom of my heart, me to you guys, thank you for all your support. Another dope, my man. Let's get it. Road Rage, my man. Let's throw this up right here. Woo! Yes, baby. Thank you for the support. Thank you for showing the love. Salute. Well, fight fans, we've been on for a while. I'm about to cut this short too. Short. We love, but thank you for supporting the brand. Thank you for being there. Thank you for believing in the channel. Please don't forget to give these videos likes. Those likes are important. I know nowadays sounds corny. We're giving all these videos likes and stuff. But really, if you enjoy my content and you can help me get it further out into the algorithm so that we can build this brand and this channel higher, and I would really, really appreciate that. And to everybody out there, please love yourselves. Thank you for tuning in this morning with us. This is amazing. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep this pushing. Let's go. Let's go with this. So bam, bam, everybody out there, Road Rage, Blade, everyone that joined us, Carlos, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm out to the next one. After this one, peace. Man, I got a little stumble, man. The support is really there.